Hey guys, long time no see. So today I had some trouble with Facebook not wanting to do lives. So I'm going to explain the Newsboys Strike of 1899 and we've got to find my papers here. What did I do with them? So we are going to get right into this. I have a few kind of books and everything that I'm going to read off. It's gonna be fun. Alright, so this is from Wikipedia. I actually trust this Wikipedia kind of. There's some few things that I don't agree on, but the Newsboys Strike of 1899 was a U.S. youth-led campaign to force change in the way that Joseph Pulitzer and William Randolph Hearst newspapers compensated their force of newsboys or newspaper hawkers. The strikers demonstrated across the city for several days, effectively stopping circulation of the two papers along the distribution of the New England cities. The strike lasted 2 weeks, causing Pulitzer's New York World to cease circulation from 360,000 papers sold per day to 125,000. Although the price of papers was not lowered, the strike was successful in forcing the World and Journal to offer full buybacks from their sellers, thus increasing the amount of money that Newsies received from their work. It is true. That part is true. So now we're just gonna kind of talk about some people that were in the strike. I have this book, and it's the Newsies Production Handbook, and it has a lot of interesting facts about these people and people that these people were based off of. So I will tell you which people that were based off of the characters from Newsies. Okay, so given that Newsies was based on an actual event, many of the characters have ties to historical figures. Some of the characters, such as Pulitzer, Hearst, Roosevelt, Seitz, and the mayor, are fictionalized portrayals of real people. Others are original creations, yet still inspired by historical figures. Jack Kelly is inspired by Kid Blink, Morris Cohen Davy by David Simmons, Catherine by Nellie Bly, Meta by Ida Overton. Okay, so here's Kid Blink's paper, or biography. Kid Blink, Louis Blatt, was a Newsies Union leader, was blind in one eye and named for his signature eye patch. A ragamuffin who led the New York Newsies in their fight for justice during the summer of 1899. Kid Blink was an inspiration for the character Jack Kelly. He was often quoted in newspapers covering the strike. Writers sometimes use the phonetic spelling of speeches. That's the fella. What made the fight yesterday? Brooklyn, Jersey accent. That's me. I have that. I've had that since I was 9 because I've watched Newsies. I've watched Newsies all the time. I used to watch it all the time when I was 9. An effort to keep his dialect intact for the entertainment of readers, he and the other Newsies allegedly found the style of reporting condescending. Okay, David Simmons, one-time president of the Newsies Union and an inspiration for the character Davy, was 21 during the 1899 strike. Born on Ludlow Street, he sold papers from the age of 8, although he also attended school. He hawked papers from City Hall Park, and by the time of the strike, he employed several newsies to help him sell there. He was elected president of the union due to his ability to inspire others, but the newsies grew skeptical of him and Kid Blink. Simmons and Kid Blink were seemingly both bought out by the newspapers when the newsies discovered Simmons. Or is it Simons? I think it's Simmons. Simmons, yeah. Simmons and Kid Blink were seemingly both bought out by the newspapers when the Newsies discovered Simmons selling papers. They mobbed him and his friends and destroyed 6,000 newspapers. Morris Cohen replaced him as the union president. So in the Wikipedia thing, Morris Cohen was not as depicted as it was in here, and I kind of trust this more. Morris Cohen, a Newsies union leader, sold about 300 copies of the World per day in the City Hall Park. He was one of the original organizers of the strike, and he was also on the initial executive committee of the Newsies Union. He also helped to lead the rally at New Irving Hall. After David Simmons was accused of being bribed by the newspapers, Cohen was elected new union president. In Newsies, Jack Kelly is both based off of Kid Blink and Morris Cohen. Alright, so now we're going to skip to Nellie Bly, which was Catherine was based off of, and I actually didn't know this. She was born in 1864 and died in 1922. Nellie Bly was the pen name of a journalist, Elizabeth Jane Cochran. In a time when female reporters did not cover much beyond by the society pages, Bly made a name for herself as a legitimate journalist. She reported on her record-breaking trip around the world and even faked a mental illness to report the experience of a patient mental institution. Newsies' Catherine Plummer was inspired by Bly. So, in the 1992 version of Newsies, I liked, but I didn't, because here's why. They kind of whitewashed Meta.
Hey guys, so this is me editing the video. I know it's really dark in here, but anyways, I just kind of wanted to fix that. They did not whitewash Meta. So after digging deeper in my research that day, I found out that Meta was originally based on someone that was a performer that was Russian that came over in the 1800s to perform. Because at the time, what is his name? I've studied him for years. Konstantin Stanislavski was big in New York. He was a teacher that taught many theatrical things. And when I get into the theater history, I'll tell you about more of him later. But she came in from Russia to be a part of his class, and that's what they based Meta off of. Now, in the early processes of the Broadway musical, they decided that they wanted to use Ida as an inspiration because it's more of a common thing, and it is more to do with the African American lives. And Ida was more of a popular inspiration than this other girl was. So yeah, there's my input on that. Back to regularly scheduled programming.
And I didn't really care for that. It was really not good. But they made up for it in the production of Newsies the musical. And here is Meta's inspiration. Ida Overton Walker was a performer and one of the premier African-American artists at the turn of the 20th century, known for her original dance routines and refusal to conform the stereotype of traditional black female performers. Overton had a successful career as a star of the Bowery and beyond. She married fellow performer George Walker in 1898, and the pair became one of the most revered African-American couples on the stage. Before her death in 1914, Walker worked hard to aid young black women striving to make a name for themselves. She organized benefits in honor of the industrial home for colored working girls and played an active role in the development of young black women as stage performers. The Newsies character Madame Larkin was reconceived between the paper mill and Broadway productions, with Walker serving as new inspiration. So yeah, that is all I'm going to talk about today. This will kind of be a series.
Okay, so
there is your kind of
David Simons,
people that you should
David
know
Simons
about.
Is one of
yeah.
my
See you guys later, and goodbye.
And I was mispronouncing it. His name is Simons, not Simmons. He was one of the favorite people that I kind of researched, besides Kid Blink, because I really want to play Jack Kelly. But yeah, here's David Simons.